began to, okay, so they're able to see and hear us right now. I'm getting a note in the private chat. That's great, great, great. So, um, I had a plan. I had a plan that I was going to do something next with the possibility of errata. And before the launch, I already knew there was going to be a book two, because the people that had read it said, well, we want to know what's next, right? So, so book two had to be, but what direction would I go? And thank you, Cyrus and Paulette and Jasmine and all of you who can see us. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a little fractured, as you can tell, but we're just going to take baby steps. Mary Morrissey once said, you can climb Mount Everest taking baby steps as long as you don't stop. So there was a particular direction I was going to go and had everything teed up for that. But in my work, what I understand is that the universe will send me several opportunities, several different ways to take errata to the next step. And, what was it going to be? Was it going to be television and movies? Was it going to be a podcast? Was it going to be a movie? Were we going to move right into book two? What were we going to do? So the thing that was at the top of the list didn't work out. And the most important thing about that is that if you let go, that didn't work out, because I had planned for about 6 months for that to occur. I had to let it go right away. And as soon as I did, something else came up, a film festival, something else, festival, another thing came up, podcasting, another thing, audiobook. So I had all these new choices. And I'm not even sure I'm talking about what I'm supposed to be talking about here, Cyrus. The subject today is, well, it's perfect, I guess, because if I'm not mistaken, this is really how positive thinking can change everything. So the first thing that I did was I was not attached to what I planned on. And that's really what most people, as an expert in, let's just say I've done this for a long time in goal achievement, right? That you're going to get opportunities. So you cannot be attached to the things that don't work, right? You just have to move on to the next thing. And that's why you don't set out every step when you're moving toward achievement, because you really don't know how you're going to get there. Like, I didn't really know how I was going to get to the next step, only that all I had to do is move my feet. So I know that the opposite of failure is success. So using what we know, I was able to let go of the failure, and immediately those three things came up. So that's really what we call a reframe. And you may all be familiar with what a reframe is. It's based on the law of polarity. And so these laws, these hermetic principles or universal laws that have always worked, they work 24/7, 365, and they're designed to relieve our anxiety. We think that we have to do everything ourselves because we don't know yet, or are not clear yet, that there are universal laws, and they're governed by God, if you will, or spirit, however you want to look at that one universal force. So I knew about the law of polarity. The minute I let go of the obstacle, the opportunity showed up. So really, that is a lot of how we navigate through this work. Now, I met Bob Proctor, and I studied at his knee. There's a wonderful story that has to do with how I came to know him, but it was all through unexpected things that happened, all through things that were unexpected. So I did things that based on my intuition. And it was back in 2007 that I had seen the movie The Secret, Cyrus, and everybody was just so excited about it, right? And I created a meetup, and I'm working as a secretary. I don't know anything about this, but I had studied leadership, transformation, quantum physics, metaphysics for some time. And when I saw this movie, The Secret, I went, oh, wow. Well, we started this meetup group called The Secret Society, and we met every month. And that's how I first saw Bob Proctor. He was kind of the grandfatherly guy who seemed to be the narrator. So, did you want to ask me anything, Cyrus, or should I continue? You want me to continue? I'm getting thumbs up. Okay. So, through a series of events, and I had to use my intuition because the rules back then in 2007 are no different than today. If you get an email from someone that you don't know, don't open it. And if it has a link in it, don't click it. That's even worse. Now, it's still true today, but back then it was the worst. And I had been doing these monthly meetups all about The Secret and the practitioners, and we'd have lovely conversations, and we had law of attraction fairs, and everybody was just really all excited about the law of attraction. Of course, the law of attraction is a subset of the law of vibration, which is one of the 7 laws. So the natural outcome from that was, well, it doesn't work. The law of attraction doesn't work. Well, it does. But what you don't know is that it is a subset of one of 7 universal laws. So when you know how they work, like I mentioned, the law of polarity, which is your reframing, the law of opposites, you always have an opposite. If you have poverty, the reframe is abundance or a wealth mindset. If you have fear of criticism or judgment, right, what is the opposite of that? It's faith in ourselves and our ability and our deservability. So I got on the phone. I opened email. Bad girl. Didn't know the person. Clicked the link. That was my intuition. Knowing intellectually, and basically it was the fear that, oh my God, I'm doing the big no-no. Right? Something bad's going to happen. My computer's going to be hacked. Right? Something bad will happen. But it didn't matter because my intuition, that inner knowing, you know what that is, was stronger than my fear and worry of what would happen if I clicked that link. Ended up on Bob Proctor's site, saw a very simple site, saw his picture, and picked up the phone to call. And in a very short period of time, the opportunity had come to me because I had been wanting to do this. I loved these monthly meetings. I loved pontificating and BSing and blue skying and, I love dialogue, right? I love the intellectualizing. It's just so much fun. So they invited me to come down to West Palm Beach and be trained by Bob Proctor in early 2008. And I said, I'll be there. They said, well, we'll send you a notebook, and you need to have a mastermind, find 8 people over 8 weeks, face to face, and teach them Think and Grow Rich in a mastermind. And I said, what's Think and Grow Rich and what's a mastermind? I hadn't heard of either one of these things. Don't worry, they said, we'll send you everything you need. You're going to love it, etc. So I knew I was in the right place. Everything had guided me there. Not my fear, but my intuition. And that's your connection with the universe. And the question is which is stronger? In most cases, our fear is stronger, so we don't do it. But in this case, it was so strong. I just knew that I knew that I knew. You know what I mean? So, of course, then came the magical question. This is November of 2007, and I'm working as a secretary making about $2,500 clear a month. It was fine. I was doing well, had a full-time job, and got to do these wonderful meetups. Life was good. So I said, well, how much is it? And she says, $16,000. Holy mackerel. I said, okay, I'll be there. Now, you need to know that I had $500 in an Edward Jones account. That's all I had. There was no way that I could get this money. She might as well have said 160,000. And by the way, that is a lot. I thought it was a lot, but it was impossible. And this is the key in the work that I've been doing. Just like with the possibility of Arata, these things are possible. Anything is possible. My goodness, we have paraplegics climbing mountains. I mean, honestly, right? I mean, you could do anything. You really can. So what I did was that I learned later, I let go of the money. I didn't let it bother me because it was impossible. So I took all my energy. Thank you, Islam. So glad you're here. Thank you for being here. I took all my energy and visualized being in West Palm Beach in the spring, learning with all the people, getting to know Bob Proctor, becoming a certified coach and business consultant, and getting together this live mastermind. And I was only one page ahead of all the people in the mastermind. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was so focused on that and visualizing it and spending whatever energy I had on it. I never thought about the money. I really never even thought about the money again because it was astronomical. It was impossible, but I wasn't going to give up on the dream. I loved the idea. I knew that this was my next step because I had 10 years already in leadership and transformation and quantum physics and metaphysics. I love all that stuff. And so I had 10 years under my belt, but this was the direction and everything had guided me there. So I focused on that, and the notebook came and I gathered the people together. Still, I said, I'll be there in the spring. This was 6 months right after the phone call. I just knew I was going. I don't know. I just never thought about the money again. So effectively, one day, my ex-husband called me up and he said, Leslie, he said, the company just sold off some stock and I'm sending you a check for $20,000. Now, let me tell you, I had no clue that that was coming. But the universe gave up because the desire I had to do this thing was so clear. It was burning. It was compelling. It's all I thought about. I was pretty obsessed. It was so exciting. So the money came. I went that spring. And that fall, I actually took a cruise with Bob Proctor, and that's where I signed up with Steve Siebold with the Go of Siebold platform speaking workshop, where I got my certified speaker, my CS, and it was fabulous. So I did everything that I said I do. Now, there were a lot of people there, and every year there were probably, I don't know, 600, 700 people from all over the world doing this training. But you know what? I'm the only one that I know that's still teaching it. The pure essence of what Bob Proctor created and spent 50, 60 years studying it. I now have put 16 years on top of that in my own hybrid programs. So now I can help you understand the principles of success, how to apply them in business and the universal law so you don't worry so much. So back over to you. I'm going to give you one of you a chance to speak. I see you smiling, but
I'm smiling because I know that when I spoke to you about the hidden gems in Arada, it's not just the book that is amazing. It's the fact that you used the laws within the book. And when I went back and I looked at it with a different mind, I was like, Leslie, do you know you did this? Leslie, did you know you did that? And you was like, well, no, because you wrote the story. And because it's the way your mind works, because it is the brilliance of your knowledge is all in this book. And in a funny kind of way, you weave the tale in a way that anybody could understand it. And that is something that I don't believe you can get from a textbook. I believe what you get from a non-fiction is the interest. And for me, I am fully, completely and utterly on Errata. I think I might temporarily live on there. I do sometimes, because I wake up with thoughts about things, and we know it's such an exciting opportunity for anyone to pick up the book, read it once as a book, then read it back as a book of knowledge. It's a different book. So that's what I wanted to say, Leslie.
You know, Paulette, it's so interesting that when you asked me that question, so I couldn't tell you what concepts are in the book. I really couldn't. It is so much a part of me, and I've been doing it for such a long time, focused, that the whole book came together during a very long drive that I took every weekend using visualization. Right. So this was 25 years ago, before I knew anything about Proctor, anything about mindset, other than, like I said, some quantum physics, metaphysics, leadership. I mean, I was into that stuff, but I was unaware of the universal laws and the principles of success at that point. And my marriage, my long-term marriage, had just crumbled. And it was the lowest point in my life. No, it's been a few years, so I've certainly come to terms with it. But you know, the lowest point in our lives, one of the universal laws says that you will experience the antithesis of it. So the lower that you are, wherever you are, the universe, by the law of rhythm, will give you the matching high. You just don't know when. So just expect it. So while that was the lowest point in my life, I was in no position to write this book. I didn't know what I know 25 years later. But what I did do was I was driving 4 hours every Friday afternoon to a chocolate company in Asheville, North Carolina, which, blessings to all of them, that city is washed away. It is like a 1 square mile of San Francisco that they literally lifted up by helicopter and took it across the country and dropped it in the mountains of North Carolina. And I'm an old San Francisco girl. So when I opened this chocolate company, I was in pain. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't care. I was devastated. However, I was in love. So what I did during the 4-hour drive every Friday, it was 60 miles an hour cruise control the whole way across the state on Interstate 40. Boring. I don't think we had audiobooks at that time. I was sick of the music. So I started imagining this world, which turned out to be errata, but I didn't have the story. I only had the elements, because remember, I wasn't ready to write the story, but I was able to, I had many pages of the outline. And each trip, as soon as I got into the chocolate company, into the office, I'd quickly type out all of the things. So 1 week it was topography. Another week was, well, how did errata get born? Another, each week there was another element of the book. So 22 years later, which was a couple of years ago, when I was ready, when I had put in 23, 24 years of learning all this and absorbing it and really living it every day, then I was able to write the book. But Paulette, to your point, I couldn't tell you necessarily which concepts are where. Now, there is a 7.5-minute book trailer, which is like a movie trailer that I did with the Visioneer and fabulous Imagineer Aaron Gibson. And I wrote the storyboard of the 12 episodes with the points that are there and what should happen. And then he translated it into visual images. So now what we have is a movie trailer that matches up to the book, right? Because each piece of it came from the book. But I'm so grateful to you, Paulette, for sort of digging in to say, oh, this is this concept, because Paulette has been studying with me for some time. Plus, she already knew a whole bunch of stuff, right? But and it's uncanny how her Jack and Walter books and my life's work are like this together, right? It's all about okay. Cyrus is holding up Jack and Walter. Okay. So thank you for doing that, because I couldn't tell you which things. But when you say to me, "Oh, well, this was this," like you said something, I don't remember what it was, but I've got it here in my notes. Oh, it was about the visualization,
The visualization,
right, of the introduction. So anyway, yeah. So
but
anything?
also the way that you pivot within the story shows how you always look at the two sides of everything, because that's how your mind works. You know, you talk about the polar opposite, and you always look at both sides, and that is where, when I read that, I think, oh gosh, that's this and it's that, and there's so much in there that it's not just a storybook, it's so much more. And I would ask anyone that haven't purchased it yet to please buy it, because this is not just a storybook. This is a book that has probably taken, I dare say, over 20 years studying to be able to write. You couldn't write this book unless you knew the laws and you lived and died by them. And so for me, forget the dying bit, but you're living and dying by the laws, because that's why they are so paramount within the book. So that's why it's so much more than just a storybook. It's a storybook, yes, but within the book, it teaches you all the things that Leslie has studied for 20 years plus. So it's amazing, absolutely amazing. And on that note, I'll be quiet.
Well, okay. So one of the things that, thank you for that, Paulette. It's been really exciting. One of the things, this was a long-term goal, right? And not giving up, which is persistence, the eighth principle of success. It's very important not to give up. So when I hit the obstacle, my plan for the next step for errata, I did not shut down errata. I let that go and allowed the universe to send me. They're already on the way. You see, when you really have faith in something, in yourself, in your ability, in your deservability, there's a certain vibration about you. And for years, for the last 16 years, I've been teaching in my 12-week course hundreds of people all these principles, how to set and achieve a goal, and they're all building their business and growing in momentum. And the thing is that there are over 500 people that have used this process to achieve their goals, basically in a 12-week format. But of course, you could do, if it was a big goal, you could break it into several different formats, or excuse me, into several different 12-week goals. It's interesting that I use the word format. There's been a lot of book writing lately, so I got the wrong word here. But what I want to share with you is that one of the things that I teach, I have 7 mantras in my, oh, there, thank you. I got one too. Okay, I got one too. Oh God, we all have one. Jasmine, where's yours? I forgot where I was. Somebody bring me back. And by the way, look at this beautiful fan. My wonderful friend Noni Virani brought me back from the Bahamas. And
really nice.
Isn't it pretty?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that I love these fans, and I have a whole bunch of them. But this one is extra special because it went from the Bahamas to San Francisco, where I used to work, to North Carolina, where I am. Okay, so where was I? That was a good break, so you can tell me where I'm supposed to go next.
Hang on, we're going to hear something, I think.
What is Cyrus doing? I hope everybody's with us. I hope you're leaving notes and comments, and ask a question if you want. And while Cyrus is getting ready to do, he's talking too. This is very interesting. Hi, Crystal. Crystal is here. Oh, I love it when you put up a. Who's doing that? Jasmine, is that you? Are you the back? Oh, you're doing it.
That's Cyrus.
That's Cyrus. Yeah. Okay, Cyrus. Fantastic. Oh, and Omar is here. Thank you, Omar, for calling me. Omar, fantastic. Omar actually set up my YouTube channel. He's a man of many, many talents. And I'll tell you, this whole project for Errata took a very tight, close-knit team to make the 5 #1 bestsellers, right, in those categories. And that they weren't the only ones. I had like 5 people in a tight mastermind with me. They were the people that I talked to about any challenges, and you can do the same thing. Then there's another circle of many of which you are here. It took a village, and you can see already that those who have read it and love it, they want it to live on. And so do I, because this book is what we need right now. You know, it's a place where you can go that's all about virtues, values, and soul-kissing love. And don't we need that now? I mean, when was the last time we had? And it's a science fiction love story by a woman. So there isn't all this, aerospace and killing and all that business. I mean, we got a couple of bears that are domesticated on Errata, and we're busy eating truffles that grow wild on the hillside. And guess what? There's something magical inside the flavoring of the truffles. And it has to do with living a virtuous and valuable life. And that's really what everybody on Errata is all about, virtues and values. And that's how the whole planet came together. When the planet became a planet through a series of experiences, the spirits, or the gods, if you will, determined to send spirits to populate Errata. But they had to be the epitome of living life with value and virtue, right? So that's how Errata even got populated. So there's a lot of magical things that happened there, and it's all just my brainchild, right? It's just driving Interstate 40 back and forth for 4 hours every weekend. I got to leave, right? Because that is really, your subconscious mind is your automatic mind, and that's how you could end up at the wrong house if you had just moved. And I actually had that happen to me, where I had moved into a new apartment, but I moved into a new house, but I lived in an apartment for 4 years. And when I was driving home, I was in a heated conversation, and that was my conscious awareness. But the automatic part of me, the part that doesn't think, that reacts, took me to the old place, right? So I knew that I would get to the chocolate company in the mountains because I was aware. But it was 60 miles an hour on a straight pathway. Hi, Dr. Marcia.
Can you hear me, Dr.
Yes.
Dr. Klaus? Yeah, okay. So thank you so much. So let's listen to something real quickly.
Sure.
Leslie Flowers, the queen of dreams and magic powers. She paints the stars, draws the skies, where magic lives and never dies. In a rider's world, her voice is gold. Her stories touch both young and old. Through every line, the heart she frees. In her words, we find the keys. She walks the line of fate and chance, spinning tales that make us dance. With rivers clear and glowing streams, she fills our hearts with endless dreams. A crown of stars upon her brow, she leads us through the here and now. Leslie Flowers, the queen of dreams and magic powers. She paints the stars, draws the skies, where magic lives and never dies. In a rider's world, her voice is gold. Her stories touch both young and old. Through every line, the heart she frees. In her words, we find the keys. In a rider's lens, the spirits soar, where magic flows forevermore. A queen of dreams, with grace and might, she leads us through eternal light. Leslie Flowers, the queen of dreams and magic powers.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful. I loved it. Absolutely loved
Amazing.
it. I don't know about you guys, but I loved it. It's so befitting, isn't it? So
The
Leslie,
queen.
when you were
The queen.
yeah, queen of magic powers, she is indeed. Now, regarding something you were saying earlier in the chat, something grabbed my attention really. The difference between intuition and resistance. So you mentioned about intuition, and some people go through the same feeling, they go through the same emotion, but they don't take the same action that you took. So Irada could not exist, but it does now. So you took it from, I love the title. Title is beautiful. Title is the possibility of Irada. It's not Irada. It is the possibility of Irada. Who made it possible? You made it possible. The possibility always existed. You brought it from a place where it didn't exist to a place it exists now, right?
Yes.
So we're going to provide youngsters. We haven't decided on the age range yet, but we're going to provide the youngsters with this book as well, because the sooner they familiarize themselves with this concept, the better off they're going to be, right? Why should they go through the same pain that you went through? I suppose that's one of the reasons why you wrote this book. And now the difference between intuition and, in my experience, in my view, the difference between intuition and resistance is that intuition, if it's on its own and it pushes you towards a target and makes you wonder, how can I make it happen? How can I make it happen? You've decided on it already, right? That's intuition. If it's accompanied, if it's coupled with some sort of warning, oh, no, don't do it. Don't write the book. Maybe somebody, maybe there's not going to be enough people to watch it or read it or listen to it, right? I don't go to the shop telling the shopkeeper, oh, I'm here today. I don't want a jar of jam. That's what I'm here for. I don't go to the storekeeper saying I'm here because I don't want a jar of jam, right? I go in there because I want something. I don't spend time to go to the shop for something I don't want. Okay, so that's how many people spend their daily lives, right? So if it's coupled with warnings, it's resistance. Resistance should not be focused on. Okay. Now another thing is, I'm almost certain that you imagined yourself in this room, in this launch, before you even started writing the first word of this amazing book, right? So you had an image in your head and you executed that image. You brought it into reality. Possibility got converted into reality. That's the magic of Dr. Leslie Flowers. So another point I wanted to bring to your attention is, you can't picture the future. You can't feature a future you can't picture.
Mm.
You
Mm.
can't feature in a future you can't picture.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you imagined it. You pictured it in your head. And
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
reason why you are featuring in it now.
yeah. Now let me explain what's happening. I'm really glad you brought this up, because the 7 universal laws govern different things. So we're familiar with manifestation. And effectively, what we're doing is we're taking thought energy, which is an idea, and we're converting it. It has to go through us. We have conscious awareness. Animals don't have that. So, really, we're the only ones who can take thought energy, which is an idea, and turn it into, over a period of time, by focusing on it and visualizing you're already having it, it will turn into physical matter. It's some people, it's alchemy, and it's also magic, if you will. But here's the thing: the moment I got the idea for this book 25 years ago, 2 images were born: the idea and the full manifestation of what's happening right now, or the book being written. So everything is created twice. First, as thought energy, your idea, and then through visualization over time in spaced intervals, thinking about it, working toward it. You don't have to go crazy about it, but it is very important to you. And it lights you up. I would not have done the visualization if I wasn't in love, because love and kindness and gratitude and generosity are the highest creative vibration. And you do know, most of you know, that behind every great man there was a great woman. And it's not until the man falls madly in love with a woman that he does these great things, because usually after you're 50 years old or so, you move from the physical plane to the spiritual. So effectively what's happening is all that wonderful energy with sex, as an example, transcends to a spiritual plane, and you actually use that high energy toward creating with your imagination. So you can actually transmute energy into other things. So if I hadn't been in love in the most wild, wonderful thing, right, I probably wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have been able to sustain 4 hours each way. So now what happens is, so you get this idea, you fall madly in love with it. I did. You think about it. But now in this case, I didn't think about it for about 15 years or maybe 20, because I was in no place and I was healing. And then all of a sudden, 2 or 3 years ago, I thought, oh, and Dennis Pitico, who has a publishing platform, I said to him, hey, would you, if I wrote these episodes out, would you publish it? And he said, yes. So in 12 weeks, I wrote the 12 episodes. But remember that I had the outline. I had the environment, the scenes. I had all of that. What I didn't have was the story. And that is what Paulette is talking about. So what happens effectively, when you love this idea and you think about it a lot, every time you bring it back up on the screen of your mind, along with it comes your exhilaration and the vibration of your thought. So mind is a cellular activity. And you know this, that when you get excited, there's a spring in your step and you get a few goosebumps. So what you're thinking about the most is actually going to cause your results. But that amplitude of vibration, or that frequency, is the exact frequency that completed manifestation is moving toward you. Now, how long it's going to take to actually achieve it isn't up to us. We can say when we want it, but that's another one of the universal laws. So that if you get close to a goal and you're off by a day or a week or even as much as a month, most of us through fear, which is the other side, that's the resistance you were talking about, as opposed to intuition. The resistance is a result of fear. And there are 6 basic fears. And they're very strong. And our higher side isn't as strong. So this work that we do in my courses, one of the 7 affirmations that we speak every time is, I am the mirror of your greatness, and you are the mirror of mine. So one of the things that I've taught myself and all my clients do is to look for the greatness in people, because based on the law of polarity, there has to be good with the bad. But we're so busy looking for the bad because it's really a reflection of the things we don't like about ourselves. But that's a little deeper. So effectively, this thing that you want very much is a done deal when you first get the idea. And how it gets to you, and by the way, you don't move towards your goals. Your goals come to you, don't they? They just land in your lap. Because it's how often you think about it and visualize it. And through your memory, which is conscious, you bring up the image again that excites you, and it raises all your cellular vibration. It's sending a message to the universe. Oh, I'm speeding up my vibration. Hurry up and send me my thing, right? So effectively, this was already a done deal when I was driving up and down Interstate 40 in 2002, whenever it was. But it was up to me. You see, the DNA of manifestation and achievement is
Leslie,
visualization.
in the book, are you Lee?
Yes.
Oh, that makes me wonder who's Van.
Well, he's mentioned in the acknowledgments.
People who haven't read the book, please read the book, because if you find out who honestly, if you find out who Lee is, you need to find out who Van is. Okay, so in the chat you will find a link to the book. You will find a link to the book and the possibility of Irada. It is magic, and I mean it's magic on many levels. Okay, it's just you need to find out for yourself. Now there
Cyrus,
is a.
can I just
Go on, sorry.
butt in for a second?
Yeah, please
Because
go
there's
ahead.
something that I really want everybody to understand as well. And that is the Irada, I think we call it lineage. And
Yes.
I absolutely love the things that Leslie would love to see in a world are the things that I would love to see in the world. Tolerance, compassion, courage, justice, honesty, enthusiasm, service, gentleness, mercy, modesty, unity, generosity. What a world we could have if we could all live on Irada.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now a song that me and I mean Jasmine Ofori, who's on the screen as well, guys. Jasmine
Thank you, Platine.
inspired me. Oh yeah, Platine is just brilliant. You can see the notes there.
Yeah, thank you.
So I just wanted to say thank you, Jasmine. And this is the kind of stuff that because Jasmine is an online advertiser, this is the kind of stuff that she does. She's not only just advertising, she inspires anyone who works with her. So I recommend Jasmine to. I recommended her to Leslie, and Leslie was so happy about her designs and those balloons, and Leslie was so excited about the balloons. I told Jasmine, and Jasmine was so excited as well. So
yeah, that's the first thing I noticed was the balloons.
Yeah. It's just
Thank you,
phenomenal.
Leslie.
Now this song that Jasmine inspired as well. I'm gonna play it for you guys. That is also, we dedicate this to the phenomenal Leslie Flowers.
I feel like a queen.
You are.
Yeah.
The possibility of irada, 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 irada. The possibility of irada, 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 irada. Oh, irada, irada. Oh, irada, irada. The possibility of
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jasmine, how are you feeling today? And thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
I'm feeling great. I'm in the, presence of greatness. I'm learning, I'm soaking it all in. So thank you, Leslie, for giving me the opportunity to be on this platform. Yes, I'm definitely getting my copy. It's actually sitting in my basket on Amazon. It's just I'm compiling a couple of books that I need to buy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But immediately I saw the cover, I was thinking, wow, this looks beautiful. It's out of this world. It definitely catches your attention. So what's in it? I know it's going to be spectacular.
As soon as Jasmine saw the cover, she was like, it's a beautiful
did.
cover. And I was like, yeah, you told me. I still remember from the first 9 times you told me. It's beautiful. We know.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I really like it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So I'm
Thank you.
looking forward to reading it and soaking in all that wisdom.
Let me just tell you, I paid $5 for that cover on Fiverr.
Wow.
$5. Yeah.
Wow.
I sent him the map. I mean, you just never know, right? This was several years ago, and I sent him the map that's in the book, and that's what they came up with. That was the best $5 investment I've ever made.
Really beautiful.
Leslie, I think on the screen, this one's for you from Mariana.
Oh, hi, Mariana. Thank you so much. Tomorrow night we're going to come back here. Come back. We'll have another link for you. We'll do the best we can to get you here on time. We're a little practiced now. And there's a lot of things that you don't know that are coming, right? And book 2 is incredible. The mysteries that come out of book 1 are going to really expand in book 2. And one of the things that Cyrus said was about children getting a hold of this, right? This is a love story, but I think there's just one kiss at the end. So it is filled with virtues and values. And the reason that I populated errata that way was because I got to thinking about virtuous living, and that people have honored virtues throughout civilization. And I think the reason is it makes you feel good. When you have virtues and you're being humble or you're aspiring to be humble, whatever it is, that is how, because you had asked me, Cyrus, well, how do you use positive thinking to make a change in your belief system? And I also want to I know we only have a couple of minutes, but I do want to touch on, you had brought up neural plastic pathways. Let me just tell you that what happens here, brain and mind are different, but what happens when you do something you've never done before, you didn't know how, or you failed at, and you complete it, you basically have created faith in your ability and your deservability, faith to do the thing that you failed at, or to do the thing that you've never done before. So you had to step out on faith, right? And that is what creates a new neural pathway. So
Leslie,
once
I'm
Go
sorry
ahead.
for interrupting you. You said there's one kiss in the book.
I think, is there more than one?
Yeah,
Are
there's
you?
more than one. No,
Oh,
there's two. Here's the second one.
oh my, oh, you. Well, it was all about the kids. Teenagers would like it, right? I
Yeah.
can't promise that there would only be
I
one
think
kiss.
it's no, I think it's Leslie. One thing you know, teenagers will love it because teenagers don't want lovey-dovey all the time. Teenagers want a story, but they want to learn. And this is why the book works for me, because it's not just a story. It's a story you're going to take away and go, I've learned about all these values, all these virtues, how I'd like to live. Wouldn't it be wonderful? How do I change me to change others? And that's what the story does without even giving instruction. It just takes you on the journey of, and that's your power, Queen.
Fantastic. That. Now, Leslie, I just wanted to thank you. It might not occur to everyone, but it just occurred to me that what would happen if you took a setback for failure halfway through writing the story? We wouldn't have the story now, would we? So
right.
if you're an author, I'm just saying this to everybody, right? If you're an author, think about what we're doing here now. This is what we are doing. If it wasn't for this amazing lady's perseverance, we wouldn't have the book. Now we have the book because somebody made a decision, and because somebody made a decision to continue and carry on with that decision, not just making a decision. The possibility of Irada, guys. Just pay attention to the title. The possibility of Irada. Now, that has come into fruition, hasn't it? It was a possibility at some point. It's here, guys, now. Okay, Dr. Leslie Flowers' book, The Possibility of Irada, has been published. Please go to Amazon and get your own copy and secure your own copy, because we don't want you to write back to us saying, "Oh, it's out of stock." The book,
It's print on
is here
demand.
now. The book is here now. Take it, get your copy. Get your copy as soon as you can. Now, a few quick questions for Leslie. These questions have come through to the emails. I'm going to quickly read them to you. Please spend a few seconds to answer each question, so we have enough time to address them all.
Okay.
So the question. So one of them was, what was the difference between setback and failure? So would you like to put your own spin
Failure
on
is
it?
quitting.
Mhm.
Failure is quitting. A setback isn't failure, and it isn't quitting. We have setbacks as long as you keep moving your feet and move forward and find another solution. That's not failure. The real failure is quitting.
Yeah. So the next one. Thank you so much. The next one is I keep thinking of negative thoughts. Is it a bad thing?
Is it a bad thing?
Is it a bad thing that I keep thinking?
The negative
thinking of
thoughts.
bad thoughts.
Okay. It's an expression of the negative side, the way you see yourself, but it can be used to reframe. So whatever the negative thing that you're thinking about, this person did this to me, right? Then you purposely find something good about that person.
Yeah.
So instead of being angry with them, even if it's a teeny thing, right? It's got to be on the other side, on the positive side, which is the opposite. That's how you change that behavior over time.
Yep. And then why is it that people think of negative thoughts? Where does it come from?
Fear. We have 6 basic fears, and the 2 top ones I'll tell you are fear of poverty. Well, there's just not enough for me. When in actual fact, there is plenty of abundance, but you believe in the things that you're afraid of. We have faith in our fears. And the other one is the fear of criticism or judgment. If we've been judged, which we all have, and we resurrect that negative memory, along with it comes that low vibration, which is the opposite of what you want.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Okay.
The next one is is anger and where's that question go? Sorry. Okay. What's the relationship between anger and fear?
They're both reactive and they're not thinking. They're subconscious and they're subjective, and they are strong, and they will dominate your thoughts if push comes to shove. So if you have an idea that you really, really want to do, it must outweigh that initial fear. Otherwise, it'll go down in flames. So make sure that what it is you want, you're deeply in love with. It's heart-centered. It's very clear. It just thrills you to imagine yourself already having it.
Yeah, thank you. And the next one is, how do you snap out of fear when sometimes people stay in that state of fear for days, some people weeks, some people years. How do you snap out of it?
You with one step, one reframe. When you catch yourself, you go, oh, because we have thousands of thoughts. So we go, oh, gosh, that was really bad. What can I do? What is its opposite? Or if it's about a person that's made you angry, you go and find something good about them, because it's always there and you can choose, but it's fast. So you catch one of those thoughts and then you kind of do a little analysis right in the moment. And it takes a little while, but you'll get it. You'll get it. You can do that. I mean, there are 6 basic fears. We all have them. It just depends on the environment. So just catch one of those thoughts, stop for just a second, find its opposite, whether it is the opposite of something negative to make it positive, or if it's a person that you're feeling upset with, look for the good in them. You'll always, always find it. Always.
Excellent. Thank you so much. The next one is how would you shift your focus from problems to solutions?
Well, you have to let go of the problem in order to have the solution. So you have to detach from the problem. This is one of the reasons why when you set a goal, you're not supposed to know how to do it. Because then what we do is with what we know at this point in time, we're going to set out milestones. Okay, we're going to do this and I can reach this goal. But if you've got all the steps planned out, when you run into an obstacle, you're looking to solve that obstacle. But what you miss are the people and opportunities that are coming to you that you've also caused. You're not even noticing them. They walk right by. The people that were sent to you because of the vibration you carry. The universe will send you people and opportunities that'll give you the answers. But if you're busy fussing around with a solution to one of the milestones that you created back then that you believe you have to do, you miss all that. You miss it all.
Thank you so much. Leslie, another thing that not many people address is toxic positivity, toxic positive mentality. So what that entails is fooling yourself into believing that things aren't wrong, and that stops the person from taking actions to resolve the matter, right? So what is your take on that, please? That's something that not many people address.
So it sounds like this imposter syndrome, not being authentic. So you fooled yourself. That is your subconscious, right? Your non-thinking mind that is playing with you. You see, all of our fears we have faith in. And they're not really thinking, they're reactive, they're automatic. You can be triggered by something someone says that brings up the memory of the bad thing that happened repeatedly, and it's low vibration. So all of that is automatic. It's not thinking. Yeah. So,
okay. The next, thank you so much, Dr. Leslie. The next one is from Omar. He's saying, I have a question for Leslie. What is the difference between phobia and fear? Or what's the relationship between phobia and fear?
A phobia. Oh, gosh. I don't know. That would be a Paulette question.
Yeah, Paulette, please take this question.
Here. Phobia is something that we would say is not thinking. Because if you think about what a phobia is, 9 times out of 10, it's something that people create in their minds. So it can be a fear of, Ben had a fear of buttons for a little while. I was in a shop once, a lady asked me to pick up a banana because she wanted a banana for a child, but she couldn't touch one. These are not thinking. These are not thinking. So back to Leslie's point, you've got the conscious and the subconscious.
Mhm.
And I believe that phobias live in the subconscious, and it takes a lot of work to move the fear. I have a fear of spiders. You're never going to tell me they're okay, because they're not. But you know, there's no sense to it, because look at the size of me and look at the size of this little bitty spider, but I'll still be the one that's standing on the sofa. You know, there is no sense.
I wonder if it's addiction in a way, a habitual addiction
It,
to a behavior
definitely.
through repetition.
Mm.
So, yeah. So if you have a phobia, you know, you've been replaying, bringing up this memory
Anytime.
of a scary spider, and then the very low vibration. And our natural vibration, cellular vibration, we're built for high vibration, love and generosity and kindness. But you know, the universe and God in his infinite wisdom didn't just plunk a bucket of gold at everybody's feet. He made our conscious awareness a requirement to live a life of wealth, health, and happiness. And that is what we're aspiring to do. We're strengthening our conscious awareness so that we can outwit and outweigh and disprove those things that we believe about ourselves. And it was when we were 6 or 7 or 8. And it was helpful. And I know people say, you know, oh, well, that was a child thing, and it's survival and all that. Yes. But when you're 55 years old, if you're still balking at standing up in front of a group in the PTA, right, because of this fear in third grade of being humiliated in front of the class, it's time to, and look, the process is there. That's what I've been doing. It's called the transmutation of radiant energy, and it's one of the 7 universal laws. It's exactly how the idea goes to physical form. That's what my program's about. That's how I've gotten so many results, is because it's one goal and we're following the process so we can replicate it. All really great things have a process. So when you're looking for something, right, that you really want to be involved in, find someone who has done enough work in it that they have a process that you can follow. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, now a quick mention of one of our fantastic sponsors,
Okay.
Paula Tallum.
In a state of fear, my anxiety shoots through the stratosphere. Cloud number 9 has rained again, my bed's wet, oh dear. Monsters crawling up the walls, I wish Walter was here. Jack of all trades I am, but surely master of no fear. Scary shadows walk through my walls, what's going on here? Big scary spiders reappear after they disappear. Need Walter to tell me, hang in there, dawn is nearly here. My anxiety is making me sick, I wish Walter was here. I wish Walter was here. I wish Walter was here. In a state of fear, my anxiety shoots through the stratosphere. Cloud number 9 has rained again.
Thank you so much. Another phenomenal sponsor that we have here is Jasmine Ofori. Jasmine, would
Can
you
I
please,
just say something?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Well, I bought Paulette's book for my daughter, and she opened it up. She was glued to it. She didn't close it. So it's really good.
Cover to cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you very much.
Jasmine, please tell us about your services and what is your 7 a.m. till midnight like. And I know you're very, very super active. You're doing 2-3 jobs and everything. So the backgrounds that we're actually using here, are the phenomenal work of Jasmine Ofori, and yeah, she's fantastic. So tell us about your our company a little bit, please.
Okay, so I'm Jasmine, based in the UK, in Staffordshire to be specific, and I'm the founder of Joo Digital. And what we do is we work with coaches, consultants, and people who host events, and we help them to stay visible online, generate leads so that, you know, they can get the clients that they want. So we create short form videos, infographic content, and anything that helps you to reach your target audience and to speak to them. We help you to do that. We also create different services for you. So virtual assistants, for example, web design, graphic design, anything that you need digitally to promote yourself online, we'll help you with it. We also run paid ads, Facebook ads, which we will be doing for Leslie. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, to bring her success so she can sell more books.
Phenomenal. And Jasmine, how long have you known Leslie for, and what do you know about her work so far?
So I connected with Leslie, and I've joined audio rooms, listened to her, and taken in all the wisdom that she shares. But it's only recently that we've been working closely together, so I'm excited about that. And when she enters the room, she definitely commands everybody's attention. Whatever comes out of her,
Naturally,
to be great. It's going to be
absolutely,
great. So,
absolutely.
and she's poured it into her book. So please purchase the book. It's not too expensive, and it's beautiful.
It's an investment. It's not
Yes,
expenditure.
definitely.
It's definitely investment. The possibility of Irada is on available on Amazon, guys. Please go ahead and grab your own copy. Paulette, Harlem. So how long have you known Leslie for, and what do you know about her work?
I've known Leslie for getting on about 8 months. I joined LinkedIn and found Leslie. So when you talk about what's meant to be is meant to be, and since then we've been like magnets, and it really has brought my book writing is so in line with what Leslie teaches. So it's just a wonderful, I'd like to say collaboration, but it's a collaboration with the person I write the books with, but it's a collaboration of minds. Is that fair to say that, Leslie? It's a collaboration of minds.
Yeah, mastermind. It's kind of like we're soulmates, but not on a personal level, right? I mean, right? We're intellectual soulmates.
I like that. We'll have that. That would be lovely. And my knowledge and my understanding is, if you've got a chance to study under Leslie Flowers and you don't take that opportunity, then it's a wasted opportunity. I've studied, I've done the work, I continue to do the work, I learn daily. So please, if there are any courses coming up or anything, jump on board, because she might stop doing them and then you're going to wish you had.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, before we finish tonight's session, there is this one's for you, Dr. Leslie Flowers.
Her stories touch both young and old. Through every line, the heart she frees. In her words we find the keys. She walks the line of fate and chance, spinning tales that make us dance. With rivers clear and glowing streams, she fills our hearts with endless dreams. A crown of stars upon her brow, She leads us through the here and now. Leslie Flowers, the queen of dreams and magic power. Queen of dreams and magic. She paints the stars, draws the skies, where magic lives and never dies. Where magic lives and never dies. In a writer's world, her voice is gold. Her stories touch both young and old. Through every line, the heart she frees. In her words we find the keys. In a writer's lands, the spirits soar, where magic flows forevermore. A queen of dreams with grace and light. She leads us through eternal light. Leslie Flowers, queen of dreams and magic power. She paints the stars, draws the skies, where magic lives and never dies.
Thank you so much, Leslie Flowers. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, so any closing comments, please, Dr. Leslie Flowers?
Well, I invite you back tomorrow night, and we're going to do this again, and we're going to dig in a little bit into the story and talk about some more important things about mindset and really living a life of wealth, health, and happiness, and how you can do it too. That's really my wish for all of you, is that you don't have to spend as much time as I have. And this is what I love to do. I'm at a place in my life where everything seems to be a labor of love. And when you come from that place, the obstacles melt away. And as I shared with you, there are new opportunities, low-hanging fruit that we may never have noticed. So that's what I would share, and I hope you'll be with us tomorrow evening as we relaunch.
Fantastic. You know, everybody shared how they met you, but now let me let everyone know how I met you, Leslie.
Okay.
The first time I listened to your voice, I was like, oh, that's heavenly, that voice. I love to know more about her. And then I made friends with Leslie, and the dreams do come true, because it was one of my dreams to actually have a live audio room with you. And guess what? We have a live video room now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get more than what you wished for. So this is one of those situations. I had just on that said day, I had just come back from a dentist's appointment. I was in a little bit of pain, and we all know how men deal with pain. What a woman goes through is like 100 times what a man could go through, but still men feel like, oh, that's a great deal of pain. And then I listened to your voice in an audio room on LinkedIn, and after like 10-15 minutes, by the time I was in my taxi, I had forgot about the pain, and that left a really lovely memory in my brain, in my mind. And later on, I was talking to my friends about Leslie Flowers, and she sounds fantastic, and everyone was like, "Oh, you got a crush on her?" I was like, "No, but I love her voice." And then I found out about your books and what you've published and what you've achieved. And I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for not giving up when you felt the setbacks. You are an example for everybody here, right? Anyone who doesn't know you, you're more than welcome. Anyone who doesn't know you, they need to know that you started something, you continued, and you finished it, right? That is, to me, that's the definition of success. Leslie, you are a successful person, and I'm sure I'm speaking for everybody, that it is very generous of you to arrange for these free. This was a course basically that we went through, wasn't it? So thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and sharing what you know and what you've achieved with people free of charge, spending your time, spending your smile with us, sharing your smile with us, and sharing your time with us. And you have a lot of good friends on LinkedIn, and I feel privileged to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So the lovely people who attended the event today. Okay, let's go through the names. Platine, thank you. Islam, Goda. Whisperer, who's Whisperer? Next one is Tasama. Thank you so much for joining. Omar, thank you so much for joining. Crystal Behi, thank you. Mariana, thank you. Rick McCulloch, thank you so much. Dr. Marcia, thank you so much for joining and spending your time with us. Everybody, you guys are so generous. You are spending something that can't repeat. Something, once it's gone, it's gone. Time, okay, the most valuable thing in life. You guys spent it with Leslie Flowers. Why? Because she spent her time writing for us. And if it wasn't for her generosity, we wouldn't be able to now enjoy the book. For those of us who haven't, for those of you who haven't bought the book yet, I've purchased it and I'm really happy about it. And I recommend it to everybody. Please purchase the book. And same thing goes with this. We had a conversation about Jack and Walter with Leslie, and she obviously she's generous, and she agreed to advertise the charitable work that Paulette does in her event. Thank you so much for that, Leslie. You are a problem solver, and you're a good person, and I believe, I think I'm speaking for everybody, that we need more people like you on earth. And thank you so much for being you, okay? And thank you so much for remaining the Leslie Flower that we know and love, okay? So please never change. And you sound fantastic as well. Guys, if you haven't been to Leslie's audio rooms, she has audio rooms as well. And she has this 90-day course. Before we finish, would you please take us very quickly through your 90-day course as well?
Oh my goodness! You don't want to save that till tomorrow night? So
we will talk about it tomorrow as well. Please. Okay. Well, if anyone wants to apply, please. How should they apply?
Okay, so the 12-week course takes you through a curriculum which includes leadership. It includes the principles of success. It includes goal achievement. It includes a number of other elements, also the universal laws, and how to apply all these things over the 12 weeks to influence your results of the goal that you set for 12 weeks. So we're actually, in the beginning, setting a goal, a specific goal, and then all the work that we do over the 12 weeks is filtering through the universal laws and the principles of success and applying them in real time so that you can do it again, right? So that you understand. So it's this automatic, or in this insistence of repetition, because that's how we learn, through repetition. So you don't learn just goal setting on week 2. All of these things are repeated from different perspectives, because every time we hear the same thing, something else will come up for us. We'll become more aware. And I never say the same thing twice. But there's a full workbook, accountability partnerships. I've been doing it for 62 business quarters. It works, and it's a lot of fun. And we'll start a 12-week right after the first of the year. So reach out to me on LinkedIn if you're interested.
Thank you so much.
For that, there is a little bit of a bonus coming in December. Would you like to talk to us about that one?
Ooh, yes, Leslie.
I just don't want to bore people.
You never bore us, Leslie. You never bore us.
Okay. So because goal achievement is an enigma, nobody I've ever met was ever taught how to set goals. Our teachers didn't know, our parents didn't know, but we do know quite a bit through haphazard and sporadic results. So one of my flagship workshops is a transformational intensive, and that will be Thursday, December 5th from noon Eastern to 3 p.m. And in those 3 hours, I will infuse you with all the laws of the universe, all the principles of success, and the 12 laws of achievement. And basically, what happens is you're so filled up with positive, amazing concepts that you then will write and connect with the universe, and you will write all your goals for 2025 and put them in priority order. And you've never thought of them before, maybe one or two. But it's a process. So why do I do it that then? Because every year I remember the anxiety around the holidays. What am I going to do in the first of the year? What about my business? How am I going to pay off all this stuff? And then New Year's Eve. So if you were to walk away at 3 p.m. on December 5th with written all of the potential 2025 goals that are possible, and you couldn't finish them all anyway, and they're in priority order according to your values, then imagine what the December is going to be like. There's very little anxiety because you have a big plan. And so I invite you. It is at a very low price. It's at $75 US for the 3 hours. And I did that because I wanted more people who are grappling with money and abundance or lack thereof to take that step. Because if you don't have the $75, you have to want this enough, kind of like I did with the 16,000. If you want it more than the trouble that the $75 would cost you. Normally this is much more expensive, but that's why. And also because of Christmas, December 25th, 2025, and $25 an hour for 3 hours. And that's where the 75 came from. So I will make sure to let you know where you can register for it. It's real simple. It's in Zoom, and I think you'll love it. So that's a wonderful precursor to the 12-week, but you don't have to do the 12-week. You can just do this 3-hour course.
Thank you so much. So, so with that said, we're going to bring the first episode out of the 10 episodes that we're planning to do to an end.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you are based. Thank you. Have a good one.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
See you. Thank
Same
you.
time.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.
See you
Bye.
Monday.
Bye-bye.